Hello everyone, my name is Rohde-Frank and I have a story to share with you today. We all have role models in our lives, people that inspire us to succeed. But sometimes it's not merely their achievements that inspire us, but rather their charm, their quirks, and their non-conformity. I'm lucky to say that both of my grandmothers have been role models in my life, but for very different reasons. My maternal grandma, Joyce, she is the quintessential grandmother. She is warm, she's inviting, she has taught me over a dozen card games. She collects vast amounts of relics and antiques. And upon every visit, she has a homemade meal prepared for the family, complete with multiple pie options. On the other hand, my dad's mother, Helen, does not meet many of the traits that people typically associate with grandmothers. Instead of accumulating relics, she always has something she absolutely needs to give away. Upon every visit, she presents me with several bizarre items, such as a dancing Santa or a hot pink miniature radio, and she absolutely insists that I take them from her. Or she constantly regifts her impulsive purchases from Walgreens to other people in the neighborhood. And I do not have homemade pies to look forward to upon visiting. Instead, I always keep an eye on what new restaurants have come to our town because I can be sure we will be trying one or two of them. Helen has always challenged social norms. For instance, for a woman born in the 1930s, she never had any interest in being a housewife. Instead, she was as involved in politics as my grandfather was. She was a delegate for Robert Kennedy before he was assassinated, and later she became great friends with South Dakota Senator and presidential candidate George McGovern. She has boasted many times about a political trip she took to Cuba, and I was greatly amused when I found out that many years after this trip, she approached a young man in a cafe wearing a Che Guevara t-shirt that he likely purchased from Hot Topic. And she explained to the young man that she had met the man on his t-shirt, but clearly he had no idea who was on his t-shirt and thought my grandmother was insane. And if you don't know, Che Guevara was an important leader in the Cuban Revolution. Nevertheless, there are still many ways that my grandmother does possess grandmotherly qualities. She has always made sure that I eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. She always makes sure that I have a book I'm excited to be reading. And she was strangely confident that no one could ever use too much hand lotion. Also, she takes great pride in her outfit coordination. With every carefully coordinated outfit, she always has a hat to perfectly match. Helen is a woman of many hats. In addition to working in politics, she also managed several rental homes in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. On one occasion, in the middle of the night, she received a call from a terrified tenant who complained that a bat had gotten into his home. She immediately got out of bed, walked down the street, went into his home, and got the bat out herself. She also worked for the DMV as well as working in the library of Augustana College for many years. But more than her hats representing the different aspects of her life and her various careers, as well as enhancing her ensemble, they were conversation starters. Helen was always very social. After my grandfather's funeral, my cousin Mallory and I wanted to find a way to brighten the day. We went to my grandmother's closet, we pulled out all of her hats, and while my family contemplated which new restaurant to try, we assigned one to each person in the family. And after a few pictures, we all proudly wore them to dinner. Years later, Helen's 80th birthday was a success. Not only were most of the family able to come, as well as many longtime friends and politicians, but everyone was able to meet the party's one requirement, which was to wear a hat. Now, 5 years later, my grandma shares her hats with other residents in her care center. She doesn't remember my name anymore, nor does she remember the amazing life she has lived. But somehow, positivity and love radiates through every fiber of her being. She still tells me she loves me. She still offers copious amounts of hand lotion, and she never leaves her room without a hat. Thank you.